Yeah, you're right. Otis, as we saw at the end of season 1, he's finally connected with himself. So that's keeping him busy. And he's also got a girlfriend. So he's figuring, it's a lot of new ground for him. And he's taking it slowly. I mean, he's still Otis, so he's not suddenly going to become a kind of sexual master. But yeah, so it's new ground for all of them, and he's now kind of almost popular in school. Everyone goes to him for all of their questions and queries, and he's sort of had enough of the sex clinic. He doesn't, now that Maeve's left, he kind of doesn't feel the same way about it. But Eric is still encouraging him because he loves all the attention and the new popularity they've got.
Yeah, and I think in this season there's a lot of the girls kind of form new relationships with each other, and all together they come together in a way that we haven't seen them come together before.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of solidarity and
bonding,
sisterhood, and
yeah,
there's a lot of really beautiful female friendships in this season.
Agreed.
Yeah, so they're still friends, and Maeve got kicked out of school at the end of season 1, so they're still kind of figuring out their relationship. And Otis, he definitely still has feelings for her, even though he's with Ola. He probably knows inside that his true feelings lie with Maeve. But he's still quite inexperienced, and he's still a bit immature in a lot of ways. So I think he's got some way to go before they approach that. If they do, we don't know.
I often find when you're reading a script, if, like with this, I kind of didn't even flinch, like reading the sex. Because sometimes when you read a script as an actor and there's, especially as a woman, and there's a sex scene or there's nudity, you often read it and kind of cringe, and you react like that, and you feel, oh God, do I have to do that? And that's when you know that you don't want to do that, and you feel uncomfortable with doing that, and usually you feel uncomfortable because it's not necessary, and your character, you are being objectified, whereas that doesn't happen in sex education at all. I, for one, I don't think at any point I've never read one of these scripts and gone, well, that makes me uncomfortable. And also because with a show like this, they handle it so well, and they're so respectful of all of the actors, and if there's anything that anybody doesn't feel comfortable doing, you won't do it.
Yeah.
So you feel listened to and respected, and none of the sex that happens is unnecessary.
Nor is
it all serves a purpose. Yeah, I mean, chlamydia kind of kicks it off, doesn't it?
It literally kicks it off. And it's just really important topic, isn't it? Because I think with sex education comes the whole STI facts, and also just like how it's a big deal as well. If it goes untreated, then it can become a potential problem, and awareness for for the issue is just important. Because
there's a lot of stigma and shame and embarrassment around STIs and stuff, and I think that's why that's what this show is focusing on in that opening episode where there's a chlamydia outbreak. People are uneducated, the kids are uneducated about chlamydia.
Yeah.
So they think that everybody has it or whatever. You think you can get it through, they think they can get it through
they basically think
anything.
Yeah, they think they're dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's just about educating. If we know more about sexually transmitted diseases and infections, then we won't be so embarrassed about them or so frightened or so unwilling to talk about them and go and get treated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because also, that thing of being like, okay, so maybe if you've slept with someone who has it, or if you caught it, and that's not wanting to get any help because you feel ashamed is not okay. So I think that's also part of it, just to be like, don't worry, like it happens. Some people get it and
yeah, no, this as we sort of did with last season, and this season we introduced some new characters and some new topics and different areas of sexuality. Asexuality is something that comes up in this season, which is something that is quite rarely spoken about, and then various other concerns and problems that these teenagers have got.
Yeah, it does. There's
a lot. Almost all.
Yeah, there's.
I think we try and cover like quite a lot of, or almost as much as we can, in the time space that we're given. With it, and discussing them properly as well. So yeah, there definitely is. And the thing is with sex education, and with Netflix as well, they're trying really hard to work on representation on and off screen. So the idea of making sure that when you're writing something like sex education, who are the kind of actors are in it, and what are the topics that you're talking about, making sure that people are comfortable and feeling represented. And even when we're filming it, it's like 50-50 women, so we've got women in the crew, things like that. So it's a conversation that's always ongoing with us, and it's just kind of, I think it's an important